Microphone check, microphone check. Hey, man, I can't hear no sound on my intro, so we going right in. Can y'all hear me out there? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like. Can y'all hear me out here? Okay. Welcome, everybody, back to the show. This is the NWA Connie Corso podcast. If you ain't never been here before, everybody's welcome. That's all you got to know. Is the South in the house? Is the East Coast in the house? Is the West Coast in the house? Man, let's go. Let's go. First off, let me say a few things. We are being we're in a partnership with Eternal Animal, right? So anything you need for your breeding program, or if you're just a pet owner, go into the description. Support us by buying the product straight from us. NWA Connie Corsos on the Eternal Animal. Look at the description. We got it all covered, y'all. All right. Next thing I want y'all to do, make sure y'all subscribe and make sure you become a member of this channel. We're a small channel, so the donations help with editing and everything. That's why we're so small, but we're so powerful, that it's a group effort. And of course, hit the doggone like button. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Let me get some shouts out before we pop this thing off. Plants. Roddy's Kennels is in the house. What's up, my brother from another mother? I think they refer to him as the PRK. What's up, Tony? Crafty Savage Gaming. What's happening? Billy, what's happening? Lariah, what's happening? Here in support of my father, PRK Larry. That's what's up. That's what's up. Shogun Unlimited. Bakari, Canada is in the house. What's up, little bro? Roddy, here for PRK. Damn, what's going on? Luna, Cornish, yes. Weebay Gray. Jojo, here support of my father. Oh, my God. What's going on tonight? DK9. All right. Croc, Kit, what's up, baby? Tony, Chicago. Oh, Chi-Town is in the house. Aaron Hamilton. Lord have mercy, what's going on? Russell Rottweiler Ranch. Come on, y'all. Come on, come on, come on. Javier Noriega's in the house, and he's a member too. Let's go without any other further ado. My brother from day one on this podcast, Jihad Muhammad, is in the house.
Thank you, dear brother, for having me.
Thank you for being back, bro. And the big dog, Uncle Terry Cornish, is in the house. Vom, Himmel Rottweilers. What's up, brother Terry?
What's happening, brothers? How y'all doing?
We good, man. Another day.
Wait, before we get into it, what's going on, Muhammad? You been out working dogs and stuff? I see what's going on.
I'm on it now. I'm on it, Doc.
Good, brother. I'm glad to see that.
That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Good. Yeah, man. Thanks, everybody, for coming. All right. I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Boy, PRK's here. Hey, look here, man. We know about the situation that happened this week. We saw the podcast. And I talked to Larry. He may be coming on in a few weeks, but I want to say this. I'm not going to put it like I don't have a dog in the fight, but it ain't my business. You know why? It's still time to fix whatever's happened between those two gentlemen. So I'm not going to get in that business. I'm not going to do that to them because it's still time to fix whatever happened. But it was a learning experience for all of us. Even me. I said, damn, I seen something I could do better at in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I talked to Harry and I seen a lot of mistakes he made. And he just admitted out, yeah, man, I fucked up on this and that, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just doing this and that. So for that specific situation, I'm not going to be addressing that specific situation because it's still time to fix it. I advise people don't egg shit on between those dudes. Let them fix it. Two black men, what are we, 13%, 15% of the country? We don't need it. Let them fix it. All right. Let's go, y'all. Terry.
What's up?
We're going to start with understanding breeding prices and value. One of the things we was hearing that you can't buy a dog for $25,000, $2,500, $3,000. Said it ain't gonna be worth shit. I want to hear y'all thoughts about it. Jahad, you can take off.
Let me say this. I was fortunate enough a few years ago to import a pregnant female into the United States. I won't even tell you who the dam and who the sow was, but I will tell you this. There were 7 puppies that I kept my hands on. Kept a few here. I co-owned a few out. I sold 1 or 2 to some people I was close to. The puppy that got the most notoriety out of that litter at one time was priced to be sold at $1,750. I went to Texas as a puppy. He won best male puppy at the show. He went to Georgia where he competed. He won in the youth class. He won V1, and then he went on to win Youth Secrets. In Georgia, when he won Youth Secrets, there was a judge there by the name of Nora Window, who was known. She's from Britain, but she's known around the world. And she said about that dog, this dog can win in the United Kingdom. This dog can win anywhere in the world. And I have the critiques on that dog. That dog was for less than $2,500. And that dog was smoking dogs that was there and would still be in the ring smoking dogs now had he not developed one issue that kind of stands out a little bit. Structurally sound, temperament sound, health test passed. He scored the highest that you can score in terms of hips and elbows, not in the United States, but from Germany scientists. So when somebody said that you cannot get a quality Rottweiler for $2,500 in the United States, I don't think they know what they're talking about.
I'll chime in before Terry. We let Jordan go down to court. But in the South, in this region, in the Midwest, I'm not gonna pull up any stats I can right now, but I just don't feel like being a secretary right now. But you will find that it's a lot of dog breeders in the South and Midwest, and the average price of dogs are $1,500 to $5,500 statistically.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure we can say we can meet in the middle somewhere on average, and there you go. I would not be paying no more than $3,500 for a puppy. I wouldn't even pay that because I've been around a little bit now,
Right.
and I know, and breeders take care of each other. You know, if you got a good connection with other kennels and things like that, I won't be paying on $5, $6 grand, none of that shit. But on average, and then you got to think about some of the overhead. Now, a man's price is his price.
Right.
Yeah, it's a business.
The way he set up determines his price. My kennels don't got big lights that's running me $400 a month in light bill. I don't have a big facility, concreted and things like that, running energy and water over there. I'm in a residential neighborhood, and most of us know what I'm talking about in the South, how we keep dogs.
Right.
Our dog's gonna be able to survive summer, winter. Right. We don't baby our dogs. We don't baby our dogs at all.
It's true.
Our dogs are not gonna fall out in 90-degree heat. It's just a different culture when it comes to dogs. Now I know there are different cultures where like it's gonna be more commercial, right? And but just that's not primarily the culture of the Midwest and the South.
That's right.
When it comes to dogs, you know what I mean? It's just not. We don't believe you got to pay $100,000, $200,000 for a kennel setup. We just don't believe it. And we got customers that visit our homes or our facilities, just like whatever y'all consider the big dogs. I mean, I've been in dog pounds. I don't like dog pound setups. I don't like the sound of a dog pound. I don't like the energy of concrete. You know, anybody ever been to jail, you know what concrete does to you. It sucks you. It sucks the energy out of you.
Yes, sir.
I like my dogs to be around kids, families, seeing things, seeing the deer, seeing it, accustomed to all these sounds, the neighbors, blahs, cars, and all this. That's just me.
Right.
But I know facilities cost money. But I can't judge him, and I don't think he can judge me on how I keep my dogs as long as I take care of my dogs. But Terry, you can go ahead.
Y'all soft.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And I understand. But I can say it like this. I didn't know no better, so at 17 years old, paying $5,000 on payment plans for a German dog, full German dog. My father owned a trash company. I worked myself, had a scholarship to go play ball. That was enormous price at that time when I look back.
Right.
But the quality spoke a lot now that I know. As I go through my 40 plus years and begin to watch things happen and watch the market change, 6,500 is bullshit. You should never have to pay for something that somebody already is supposed to be doing anyway. If a breeder is breeding for himself, and let's just say we didn't have any puppy buyers, you keeping the entire litter, you're going to sift through them, you're going to watch them grow up, you're going to do things, you're going to have to pay for health clearances, hips, elbows, anyway.
Yeah.
If you want to put together, and yes, I was with someone who had a 22 run kennel, all the fancy stuff. I've seen it all. But if that's what you want to do as a breeder, that's what you want to do. It shouldn't cost the buyer $6,500. You hear everything. It's based on the pedigree. It's based on I got all shits and dogs in my pedigree. You can buy 3 of those in Germany from Top Kennels for $6,500. And they damn sure come with anatophils, pink papers, all the dogs, corn on back, 3-4 generations, male, female, right? The cost comes in, though, in the shipping. And now it's very difficult because you can't ship them in at 6 months. But just think about that. You could buy 3 from Germany for $6,500 from Top Kennels. That's no lie.
Right.
The fact that the statement you pay for what you get, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
The breeders here, let me tell you a scenario. A well-known kennel, when I moved back to Colorado, and I called this lady for a dog. She's had some dogs that went to the Westminster, and at that time, she didn't know who I was. And her puppies were $2,500. But that's after she kind of found out who I was, right? That dropped to $2,500. This same lady lived in a nice area. I was going to I was putting in my application at the Mile High Rottweiler Club. Dorothea Grunewald signed off on it. Jeff Howard signed off on it, and I believe Joan Parks And this same lady, so you had to go to a certain bunch of meetings, and we had to step out so that they could vote. This same lady said, if we let one in, we got to let the rest in. Reason I said that is because it's no secret. There are certain things that a certain group of people aren't allowed to be in, and prices will go up to keep them out, just like properties and things of that nature.
That's right.
So I'm going to touch on it because it's the truth. Like I told you, maybe 4 or 5 black handlers when I first got in. Just because you got a pond on your property, just because you got all the fancy things, like you said, AC, automatic closing doors, all that, nice grass, that's you. That's what you do. The value shouldn't be in your kennel setup. It should be in your breeding program.
Right. There you go. Talk about that.
Not nobody else's breeding program that was started, meaning, and I'll use myself as an example. Asia, I went into co-ownership with a mentor. You guys that know me, I call him Pops. 2 litters, split the litters. Another dog was just dropped in my hands. For free. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Vice Bundesliga, multi V1 in Germany. Super pedigree. A brother of mine. When I hear outlandish prices, and I hear the lies being told as to why you feel that you can charge that, so let's flip it. In the Rottweiler world, teeth are very important in this breed. P1s, M3s, scissors bite. You can't see that at 8 weeks. But the entire movement in the business would have you think that when you walk out of there with that 8-week-old puppy, that he's going to be a champion. He's going to be an IFR world winner. And the breeders are playing on that,
Right.
knowing that there's so many other tangibles that it takes, even if that puppy is perfect when he leaves there. At 6 to 9 months is when people will start to see the P1. And in some cases where the jaw bones and the upper and the bottom jaw set is at 12 months. I've purchased dogs that the bite went bad, went to a show one weekend. When I come back, he looked like Bart Simpson, and he was 13 months old. What do? Do you go back to the breeder? Well, guess what this little gimmick they have to keep you coming or keep you quiet? We'll replace the puppy. Because a lot of times people don't want to give that puppy up, and then sometimes they do, right?
It was a family member. At that point, you can't take them back. I wouldn't. Why are you going to keep stripping from their family member?
Exactly. All kinds of things can happen from 8 weeks to 12 months of age.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can say to you, $6,500 is a lot of money to throw away on a guess, a hope, faith, and that breeder has put together dogs that I have a good chance of having the P1s, good chance of having great pigmentation of the mouth, lips, gums, and eyes. But if it doesn't happen, you threw away $6,500 on an 8-week-old puppy.
Yeah.
I can name a lot of breeders around this country. Ain't no $65.
Right.
Um, what's also being pushed is the dogs that they bring here, because the damn show ain't their breeding program. You can look around the United States and you can see who's built a breeding program, and that isn't coming off of 2 dogs that come over here, and all of a sudden you start naming them dogs your kennel. That's 5 or 6 generations before you can start beginning to say that I put this together because I've been tweaking from the moment that I got those parents over here.
It's true.
But what's happening is these breeders that are able to afford these expensive dogs that are coming over here, the brand name is selling. They know House Newbern. No offense about dogs from his mama and daddy, right? He's a hell of a trainer. He produces some good dogs and everything. And you cannot take away his hard work. But the people, like any business, is using the brand name to justify the $6,500.
Terry, can I interject too on this right quick? Because I want you to build off this. Okay, but it's not unheard of when you start those high prices going into buying adult dogs. You know what I mean? Buying adult dogs can get up there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If I'm paying 65, if I'm thinking about paying over $5,000, I'm already gonna be looking at an adult dog. Plus Terry's about to get into this, but let me read this comment first because this is important. This is from Doug. He says, I don't agree. A man's price is his price. If their customers are willing to pay the price, it's on them. But that doesn't mean it's quality, which I agree. That it don't mean that it's quality dog. Which leads me into this. Now, we know breeders who don't have a hell of a web presence, right? That are so huge, you don't even see it. They don't even advertise. They just, they on that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they have programs as well. A lot of the more branded people, I'm not knocking anybody with the brands, doesn't seem to have programs. Is that am I what are y'all thoughts on what I just said?
Let me say this. I don't think social media is so powerful with the ability to create the illusion that from the buyers, there's not a demand coming from the buyers to justify 65. I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by that. And Terry made the point, and Doug made the point. It's very excellent points. As that dog develops, that dog is reaching certain stages where certain challenges the dog can have is now behind the dog. Okay, so if you can have a missing P1, but now the dog is a certain age, you can look in that mouth and see that missing P1 is not there. You can see this development, that development. You're at the age where certain tests can be performed, and the dog can either pass or fail certain tests. I would say that that's more justifiable because now you're looking at a product that you can build on because now you can see development. You can see what's there. As a puppy, especially for a novice, somebody that's just getting in the game now, if you dealing with somebody like Terry, they've been in the game, 30, 40 years, they can look at that puppy at 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. They can say, this is the direction. They're able to look at the pedigree, read the pedigree. It's a lot of things that you can tell if you've been in the game for a while. But coming through the door with those prices for a puppy, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna say this, and people may disagree. It's fleecing the people. It's taking advantage of people's ignorance.
I have something I want to interject in that. Back when Doug and I started out saying, "Well, a man price is his price." What about? I mean, don't nobody know what nobody's making. We don't know simply the overhead of a kennel, because there is variables where you have people that hire people to come kennel help. Food, come on, what a pallet of food costs? You know what I mean? There are different variables there in there that can affect the price as well. And any good businessman ain't gonna do nothing for free. You
Right.
know, I mean, a dog is a good dog. That's a 10 and 12-year investment for a family. For a good, well-bred dog might live about 10, 12 years. So I think some variables in there we better think about on pricing. Maybe we too low. You know what I mean? But
He-
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because you know
yeah,
what? Wonder Bread here is almost $4.
that's right.
In the South, maybe 2. It's still Wonder Bread.
That's true. Which, hey, Terry, thank you for saying that. Okay, y'all know I run Lamont Dogs and I run Tony's Dogs, right? That's where I started with, right? Me, I can make the same breeding as Tony Scandy. I cannot ask for the same freaking money.
There you go.
I can't do it.
Mhm.
I'm not him. I don't have the experiences he had. I hadn't touched. When your name is in most pedigrees in America, but what I can say is I could defend. I could defend the price of $3K, $3,500 is a decent. Is possible with
Right.
dogs in our area, and I
but
have good lines as well. I can
I,
defend
I,
that.
I think here's the point to be made in that. If you got Wonder Bread for $4, and Joe got Wonder Bread for $2, and I know that your bread that y'all are selling the same bread, it's only intelligent. It's only intelligent for me to go to Joe and get that loaf of bread for $2 versus coming to you and get it for $4. So when we have this conversation, even though it's a conversation among breeders, it's also a conversation to say to the little man, don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Because at the end of the day, the conversation as it relates to prices becomes a moral issue. Okay? It
Thank
is
you.
a moral issue.
Thank
And
you.
it is a mathematical intelligent issue when you think about the economy and you think about buying. Why would I go and pay $500 for something that I can get the same product for $250?
Yeah, that explains why. Like,
Don't make
uh,
sense.
yeah, this explains why. Like in the South, we move a lot of dogs to California because they can. Okay, if they getting charged 6 up there, they can get one for 3,500 from us. Make a trip out of it, see cousin Wichita they hadn't seen in 20 years, and make a vacation out of it with all that and go pick up their puppy. That's what they usually do, or fly in and come get their dog. So it's
Now let me interject this part. If you wanted to, everything has different perspective. If I say, like, I just got a pedigree in from the dog that I got from you, and one of the things that they say when they send you this letter, they say, this pedigree contains a great deal of information on your dog's family history. Now watch this, listen. Which is essential if you are considering breeding your dog. Now, if I got a female and I got a male, and I know ain't nobody putting them together like this, and I'm only going to have so many puppies, and these puppies are going to do something different. But I'm looking at the pedigree from the people, and I'm saying that's the same shit that Joe Bo got that they talking bad about. They got the same dogs in their pedigree, and they dragging this man, and they all producing the same damn thing. So I'm saying to the new people, you got to pump your brakes and do your research. And if you don't do your research, you're gonna be like a donkey with a bunch of damn books on his back. And my conversation is strictly because every time I talk to a breeder who's been around for a while, who done went through the muck and mile, who been in the furnace of affliction, you know what they say? Somebody along the way took advantage of them, and if they knew better, they would have not went down a particular road 5, 6, or 7 years, only to find out it was a dead-end road. So we here to protect those people.
Yeah.
If somebody want to take advantage and sell somebody a $1,000 dog for a $500 dog, that's on them. But I'm gonna be here to say, look, that person making a fool out of you, and ain't gonna give a damn who don't like it.
Yeah,
that's
Terry, you want to interject? I get this question.
Yeah, you know, he touched on something that is powerful. That probably went over a lot of people's head, and he said morally correct. When you're a breeder and you feel that you're selling puppies for $6,500 and you feel that that's your price because that's what you get to do, it's your kennel and that's what you get to do, yet you know in the back of your mind that this puppy has to grow up. Food prices and things of that nature. Anything can go wrong with the puppy. And if you feel that that's what you want to stand on, that's what you want to stand on. Now, let me flip it. I'm breeding excellent pedigrees. I got dogs in serious working homes right now. A few in show homes. To hear someone say, and I can match my pedigree, my knowledge with 98, 95% of the people in here, when I put that litter together, and I flip it and I say, I only want 2,500. And you come back and you say, there's got to be something wrong. And I show you this exact same dogs that people are using in their pedigree, and you talk down just because you want that extra 4,000. That's bullshit. That's morally incorrect.
Right.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna get this one from Davis and K9, then I'm gonna move on to another topic, guys. Mm-hmm. If a breeder is selling adult dogs, there's a reason for it. And do you really want to buy what the breeder thinks is unworthy to be in his yard? Okay. Who want to tell him?
Well, let me say this. It depends on what the situation is. I know people who have sold their quote unquote best because they have been in a bind. They was about to lose their house. They were going through a divorce and didn't want to lose everything. And they knew in order to get the money that they need, they had to pop their dog. So everything is situational. You know what I'm saying? You got just like we say, when you get a dog, we say every dog must be judged on its own merit, right? I tell you right now, if I'm about to lose this house with my family in it, and I could pop that dog to keep from losing that house, it becomes a different conversation.
Hey,
it's not that the dog is not a good dog. It's not that the dog is not worth the price. Right. But at this point, the puppy I got right now that I've been bragging on, I may have to sell that puppy.
Right. But Jihad, too, but
because I got some financial responsibility that need to be taken care of, I might have to sell that puppy that I really, really like.
Right. And then you gotta think of it this way. Are you a breeder or not? Are you a breeder or are you a pet owner?
Right.
What I mean, I'm gonna get in big trouble. They're gonna talk about this shit tomorrow. But you got to figure out, are you a breeder or are you a pet owner? Right. You cannot run a program and keep every dog. Now, of course, every breeder I know got a dog. He gonna live and die here where he started. But every dog, you can't move a program forward. You got limited space. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And what happens? People start resenting the dog. Get a dog a better life. Get them trained.
Right.
Give them to somebody who couldn't afford the dog. in order to progress your program.
Right.
That's a tough way to say it, but are you a breeder or not?
And that makes sense. But what about the commercial puppy millers
Okay, let's get into that.
who have an ability to have, because they put a facility together to give them 30 dogs. And when you ask them to show you something in their yard, they can't.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. There are some quote unquote top breeders who only thing they do is buy dogs. They've been breeding for years. They cannot show you any of their production. And they go to shows. They don't put any of the dogs that they have produced in the show ring. But they tricking people. They got people thinking that they top breeders, but
they don't have any production that they. Damn.
What I mean by production is most of them can't even show you something from the last breeding they just did, let alone 4 breedings 4 years ago on their yard. They're pumping out puppies. That's God's honest truth. In all actuality, a buyer should be able to be told, even though there are genetic and DNA things, that when they come in to see that puppy, pretty close to what that puppy's going to be. Character, temperament, the look, the breed type, and those things, right? No hogwash. That would be part of the system, not that, oh, this dog is multi V1 or this one is the number 1 AKC champion. Da 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 da. The people want to know what they're buying. They're not buying a title.
Right.
Oh. You just said title. Number one Saints fan says, okay, I got to get it moving after this, y'all. But they got some good comments tonight. If a program has produced proven champions, multiple times and does all health tests and clears them, they should be able to ask for top dollar. I mean, I don't disagree.
That's a different thing, and
right.
I really do agree with that. But again, as Doug said, you can charge what you want to. I'm telling you, you can get a puppy before the 6 months was up, and you could have got that price. You could have got 3 puppies for that.
Right.
Real nice puppies. They ship 2 in a box. You see what I'm saying? So that would have been one price. What a person is producing in their yard speaks volume. And what you're not only paying for is what you see, you're paying for the experience and the knowledge and the hard work that he put in to producing those champions on a consistent basis. If you're not doing that, it's hard to justify charging $6,500, $7,500. But if you can show, like I said, basically a program,
right?
Consistency, not buying, but breeding consistency. There are so many things that come into that. Like people like, I don't know how it is right now, but there used to be a time you bought a puppy from Germany and you could talk to some people. They keep the puppy, you pay for the puppy for the boarding, and they charge you so much per title. A BH was so much, a ZTP was so much, a Schutzen 1 was so much, Schutzen 2, Schutzen 3, which you're paying for the work that the man has put into the dog, which is no different than you're paying for the work of a breeder that's proven himself time and time again. Like Tony. When you look at the body of work that Tony has put into it, that when you can say, and I'm looking at the majority of the pedigrees for the Corso have his work in it, hell yeah, because your chances are more are better going to that particular breeder, and you're paying for the hard work so that your chances are higher.
Right.
That's for the experienced guy.
Right.
But for these new guys, to see them coming a mile away,
okay, yeah,
don't even get a pedigree,
right?
No contract.
Yeah, No contract. You get. Oh damn. Okay. No contract.
Hey,
I thought it was no pedigree. Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay.
you know,
So look here.
hey, in other words, you paying $6,500, you don't even know what you're getting.
Damn. Okay.
You have
All
no
right.
idea what you're getting whatsoever. And
Let's.
here's another thing. How many breeders can you ask when you bred this male to this female? What was your intentions? What was you trying to correct? What was you trying to get? What was the target? And did you hit the target?
Mm.
It don't make no difference. Even if you got a dog that's titled that may be a champion, you can put a female champion and a male champion together. If they not compatible, you still can produce garbage.
Hey, Doug said it's 62 watching, 27 likes. Hit the like button. What y'all don't like Snoop and Death Row? Y'all don't like
We're gonna
Death
have to
Row?
pull a Suge Knight. We're gonna have to
But
pull
y'all
a
get the
Suge
likes
Knight.
up, man. Yeah, come on now. Y'all know we all family.
Get the
We all
like
know
up
each
for
other.
us, man,
God dog.
please.
Oh, you showed brother Joe some love. Shit.
Right.
All right. So let's go back into the the brands or whatnot. I guess I probably consider a brand, but I consider us a kind of a movement. So it's so many people involved and it's very community based. A lot of times I might sit up here and shut the fuck up and just listen. You know what I mean? And it's many cornerstones on this show. You got Terry, Jahab, Mike Morales, Alexander Von Gonta, Schoolboy, Lamont. It's so many corners pieces on this show. It ain't me. People line up to see people and things like that. And not only just that, the people in the comments we know offline and blah blah. It's really, it's real deal shit. People getting connected all over the country and all over the world. And it's just something different. So I consider NWA a movement, but I might be considered a brand by some people. But when it comes to the brand, man, nowadays it's how you have to kind of promote yourself, and because it's thick out there. But what are the dangers of the brand? If you're looking at a brand, somebody got their camera work nice and their pictures nice, ain't nothing wrong with that. But what are you looking for if you see somebody that got this high caliber content
Well, I think
besides the program?
one of the things that I want to say is that, as a breeder, you're trying to breed for consistency. So you don't want a Class A dog and a Class D dog coming out the same litter. You want to try to get as close as you can to all Class A dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a brand, I got to understand every puppy that's produced in that litter is not a super nice puppy. I got to have it in mind every time something come off the production line, even though it might be a nice vehicle, sometimes there is a recall. Sometimes that dog food, somebody in the plant did cut a corner, and there's going to be a recall on that dog food. It don't have everything in it that they say it has in it. So the novice person has to be mindful that every puppy in the litter is not the same. Okay, and they have to have some type of frame of reference when they go and look at that litter. If they're going to buy, I don't care what the name is, this dude got this name, they need to understand. In most of these litters, there's some nice puppies and there's some garbage. You need to be able to put your eye on it and get you a puppy with a purpose in mind. With a purpose in mind. That's why when I produce a litter, I always say, first pick, second pick is gone. That's going to your breeder. That's the whole purpose of him producing the litter. So when it comes down to brand, don't think that everything that comes from that is going to be super nice and I just need to drop this money because that name is on it. It don't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to the brand name, and it comes to this, I was just listening, and something came across my mind. When you pay for a puppy, you're paying for a projection. When a buyer's coming to buy a puppy, the breeder um, gives a projection of what this puppy could be because he's not there. He got good pedigree.
Right.
He got strong pedigree, but you're still buying a um, a guess for most breeders, big or small, because a lot of them don't have the information that it takes to say, okay, I bred for this, I bred for that. They're willing to flash the flashy titles from some countries, and those titles really are meaningless because they're fake, and they know it. And they know it.
Mm-hmm.
See, Timitor is a brand name. What comes with his brand name are issues, bites, flus, eye problems, you name it. But he's built a brand name. So now you have businesses here in America, because that's what it is, the dog businesses, who are purchasing off the brand name, knowing the problems and the issues. Goes back to the morals again, right? Then what winds up happening, you don't just have one person, you have several people. And not everybody is Timitor. Some is Timitor, little Edelstein. Yeah, I'm giving breeder names. Yeah. A little of DeBarto, a little of Crenny. Look, it's mixed in all together, and people are buying it and don't even know that it's all mixed in together, that the trunk is Darko with the Timitor lines. I believe a lot of people, and that's kind of why this subject can be touchy when you start talking about you can charge what you want to charge. But the majority of the people that are buying Rottweilers today that are breeders, not buyers, understand that shit is garbage just behind these dogs. They know it.
Yeah.
You'll hear them talking on one page and come back 4 months later and then bought something from it.
Mm.
And then say, well, he's the great grandfather. Well, up top is this other bloodline that come from the dog. You just went back 3 generations, different kennel names, and they know it. That's why for me, for us to pretend like everybody has morals and ethics so they can just flash a number, a dollar sign in front of a puppy, and then you add all the other factors that come in with it. First of all, you're attempting to breed that garbage out, and you know that the buyer has a chance of getting those things: jacked up bites, eye problems, loose flus, genetic disorders. That's a bad mix. To buy and know and breed and know and sell to the buyer as though ain't nothing going on. Here, he's $7,500.
Dang. Right. Hey, let me do something right quick. I'm gonna answer this. I see brother PRK, and he in the chat heavy. He says, "Wow, so we shouldn't believe in first pick, brother." I'm here to tell you, first pick is just what you said it was. It's just the first pick.
That's it.
It's the dog you pick first. That's all it means. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hey, Now, let me say this.
It might be looking the
Let me
best
say
at
this
that
about
time, but that's all it means, just the first pick.
Let me say this about that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't believe in first pick, but what I'm saying is you got to know what you're looking at when you look at that litter. It don't make no difference if you got first pick. If you looking at a litter, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. You might pick anything. You might pick the dog that comes to you.
Right.
You might pick the dog that got the tail between his legs. You might like the color. I want a black Corso. I don't care about nothing else. I just want him to be black.
Yeah.
So we have to be honest with ourselves. If we look at the litter and we don't know what the hell we looking at, what difference does it make if we got first pick or we got pick number 7? It don't make a difference. You have to know what you're looking at. And so if you want to know what you're looking at, and this is why some of you all criticize the show world, particularly the Secret Show, and this is why instead of criticizing, you should be at the shows listening, looking, studying, because there's a lot of language that Terry used. When I first met this brother and was on the phone with him, I was in Jacksonville, headed back to Pine Bluff. Do you know, to me, he was speaking a foreign language?
Right,
I didn't have in me, because I feel like I'm an intelligent dude, right?
Right.
I didn't have in me to tell this man I didn't understand all this shit he was talking about.
You be like,
I was like,
Yeah, right. Yes, sir.
I know now,
Yeah.
because I'm the type of dude, when I hear something and I be turning, I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. What does that mean? Let me find out what that means. And most of us are like that. We think that we can pick the best puppy out of the litter, but we don't even understand what angulation means. We don't know what the bite should look like. We don't know what the passion should look like. It's certain things that we don't know, and we're acting as if we know it. And that's the mistake we're making, because if you know it, how you make all those mistakes you made in the first place?
That's right.
You don't know. Just say, I don't know. I need some help.
Right.
To study. And I'm going to say this, particular to you, brother, that asked the question. There is too much knowledge in the Rottweiler world for you to be tricked into paying anybody to mentor you. I'm going to say it again, goddammit. There is, out of all the dogs that I have come in contact with, from the bully to the dogo to the shepherd to the Malinois to the, I don't care what dog you name in the United States, you cannot get better mentors out of any other dog breed than you can the Rottweiler, despite the issues that we have. So if you allow yourself to be tricked into paying somebody to mentor you, to explain to you what this is and show you and help you, then shame on you. See, we got to accept some of the responsibility for ourselves playing the fool role.
Yes, sir.
We got to accept some responsibility for that. We can't escape that.
Yeah.
We run into people paying $65, $55, $4,500, and we don't even ask them to show us the pedigree, the health test. They don't have enough respect for us to give us a damn contract. And we running our money to them like fools. We got to accept responsibility for that. It's not just on them. In this world that we live in, if you're willing to be somebody's fool, there's somebody willing to make, they're going to help you. They're going to accommodate you.
My daddy used to say,
have to make fools of ourselves.
My daddy used to say, if you see a fool, thump him on the head, it's up for the fool to move his head. I used to look at my daddy like he was crazy.
And never go on a podcast with somebody that, goddamn it, is going to disrespect you and degrade you. We men, we demand respect. Don't nobody podcast and have them disrespect you in front of your woman, in front of the world, make you look like a fool. Do you know how many years it'll take for you to recover from that? People heart ain't right. They don't have your best interests at heart, and you don't know no better. So you need to come to the brothers who are willing to teach you and not take advantage of you.
He touched on morals a while ago, and that's what he's talking about. Because first pick, second pick, 120th pick, ain't no such fucking thing. If you're a breeder and you keeping, like you guys just said a few minutes ago, where are you gonna get the first pick from? But the facade is that you're getting to pick the best puppy out of the litter. The reason that there is even that thing called pick, which needs to be cleaned up because the wording is being done wrong. It's about who puts the reservation down first, who puts the reservation down second, who puts it down third. It has nothing to do with the quality of the dog.
Right. That's
You
true.
understand?
Yes, sir.
That's true.
It has nothing to do with the quality of the dog. In fact, it's so crazy that a lot of times the fourth pick that they call pick winds up being the best dog in the litter, not the pick of the litter.
It's
The
true.
best dog in the litter. And reason I say it's a facade, and it's and that's why I'm so heavy on it. Yes, a man can do his business, but there's a lot of trickery. I'm not a misplay. See, you can't get me if I got 10. I don't care if you got it and I want it that bad, and I can see that you have the knowledge that matches me, and that's what it's your business. Excuse me, gentlemen. 6,500, I might pay it. But let me tell you, you got to be a Zyber Meisner.
Right. Right.
You got to be a Werner Walter. You got to be Ollie himself, not nothing out of Ollie. Because I know if I tell him what I want, they're gonna give it to me. But when these people see the internet is full of bullshit. What's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right, and it's being promoted that way.
Right.
These monsters, these mutants, they shouldn't even be getting a like. They're out of standard.
That's
They're
true.
horrible for our breed. The social media is full of it, and you barely get the algorithms to give you the correct dogs. Barely. But you got all these people pushing people like this guy. See, you can see someone coming and they don't know nothing about what they're talking about. How would you leave there and not know that you can get a pedigree? How would you leave there and not know that there's a such thing as a pedigree? I just think that breeders need to do better. You can charge what you want to, but your worth. I was explaining this to Joe the other day, and I always use it as an example. Hyundai used to be $49.99.99.
Right. 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 Yes, sir.
Its value wasn't in the look of the car. It was in the make of the engine. It was good on gas, never broke down, etc., etc. When it was time and they had built a reputation based on not the look, but the insides of the car and the performance of the car, here they come, they hit you with the Lexus.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
You understand? Now they got the SUVs, right? They built and worked their way through the system, just like a breeder should be able to show you and tell you about what they're breeding for, why you use this dog. Hell, why don't you do schützen with your dog? Hell, why don't you show your dog? Why aren't you in the ring? Have you ever been in the ring? Those are questions that should be able to be answered with factual evidence. But again, like the whole thing is just like the first pick. There is no such thing. Imagine I breed for consistency. So I do phenotype, right? So imagine coming to a litter.
Hold
And
on, Terry. Please explain what phenotype is.
okay. Pheno are dogs that look similar. The dogs in the background don't even have that, might not even have nothing to do with it. A person's looking at that male, and that person, the owner of that male is looking at that female, say they look very similar. Geno is dogs of the same gene pool.
Mm-hmm. I like to refer to as phenotype as the outside and genotype as the inside.
Right, because phenotype is based on people breeding dogs that look alike.
Right.
They may not have the same bloodlines, but they look alike.
Mm-hmm.
Genotype is they're breeding dogs to the best of their ability, but using the same genes.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'll use myself for the example. I'm using Judas. I've used Otzi. There will be Hummer, and there will be Rocky. All of them go back to Gringo. But at the same time, I'm using phenotype within the genotype. I'm not going outside.
Right.
Meaning dogs with the same genes, but they all look alike. Now, does that mean all the dogs that come from that same tree that I'm using look alike? No. But when you do pheno to genotype, you're trying to get as close as how they look within that line.
Right.
Which your genotype control traits.
Yes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Temperament, character,
behavior, all that. Right.
Yeah, color, and things of that nature.
You'll see that a dog that you produce, damn, he act just like his dad, and he act just like, that's what he means, y'all.
Yeah. And usually phenotypes are outcrosses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And usually genotype breedings are tight line breedings, all the way to have siblings, and in some cases inbreeding.
Right. I notice a lot of breeders, when they do cross, phenotypically they want their dog to look similar.
Right.
With a lot of breeders I know.
That's the key. To keeping breed type. Your type.
Yes,
that's the key.
Your signature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
right.
it.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. Y'all understand that? Let's get into Jihad. You can start this one out. But let me preface it like this. As a breeder, you're gonna run into problems. You're gonna run into defects. Just like we just talking about traits. Everybody ain't perfect.
Right.
You got some brothers, some siblings. Y'all got the same mama, same daddy. Y'all got some of the same traits. But you might have a sister that stay a little sickly all the time. All right, it happens, right? You might have a half brother, half sister. That half brother don't act like you and the sibling that you got the same parents with. You can tell these different things, right? With that said, you're gonna have defects like kink tails, skin tags. Jihad, can you explain to the public about environmental issues on dogs related to health? You know what I mean? Things happen.
What typically should happen when we talking about environmental versus genetic health, and I think Terry would bear me witness, is that whenever these puppies are produced, there should be tracking and documentation.
Hallelujah.
You talk about genetics, or you talking about certain things that can pop up, you have to understand there are certain things that you can test for. And then there are other things that there are no tests for. They pop up. Your ability to track and to document will guide your breeding program where you to the degree where you say, well, this popped up this time and it popped up this time. For instance, I had a dog, 3 generations, we know, they were producing ear infections. If I'm talking to the people that I'm selling the dog to 6 months, a year, year and a half, 2 years down the road, I know that I need to be making documentation. Okay, I had this ear issue with this mama, and I kept a son, and I had an ear issue with him, and I sold a puppy off of him, and now them people having an ear issue. Now you could tweak your program, so now you're not constantly putting out a problem. That's number one, because there's something in there that's constantly causing that problem to pop up. But we have to be able to understand that even when it comes down to genetics, there are certain environmentals that can affect the health of the dog. Let me give you an example that we heard on that podcast we were talking about. When you talk about missing testicles, if you do a basic search of any peer-reviewed articles as it relates to missing testicles, if it is not genetic, it can be environmental. And it comes oftentimes from checking for testicles when the puppies are too young and you're bruising them. It's kind of like if you get to fighting with somebody and they hit you hard in the eye, there's a screen that's attached to your eyeball called a rectal. And if it get tore and it does not get fixed, it'll make that eyeball shrivel up in your eye socket to nothing. It's the same thing with the testicles. If we're messing with those testicles as puppies, trying to feel, you're bruising them. There's only 1% of dogs that are having missing testicles. 1%. So everything that you see, you cannot necessarily say it's a genetic issue, even when it comes down to the teeth. And Terry will bear witness to this. When it comes down to puppies who are developing the teeth, developing the jawline, if you are pulling, tug of war, you're pulling, you can pull that jawline and those teeth out of place so that they don't develop right. Is that necessarily a genetic issue? No, it's environmental.
Yep.
So part of our study, a lot of times when we see an issue, we'll run and say it's genetics, and we take no consideration for environment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. My cousin got one of the puppies out of the litter that we kept all those bunch of puppies out for. And what she allowed her dog to do was hop on and off the bed, on and off tables, on and off everything. To the point that when that dog reaches 2 years old, with all that hopping off of stuff that's taller than his back and hopping on stuff that's taller than his back, 9 times out of 10, that dog is not going to get a perfect hip and elbow score. Just not going to happen. If you're doing tug of war with a dog around that 4-month period where the elbow is seizing itself together and you're doing heavy pulling, that puppy can fracture that elbow at that 4 to 5 month period. And when you take that dog to get his elbow examined at 24 months, 15 to 24 months, that dog may not pass. Is that genetics? No. It's all about environmental. So I'm saying that to say we have to be careful how we rush to judgment. We have to be careful the environment we put these dogs in and how we treat these dogs, because we can get a good, healthy dog, and because it has the wrong environmental influences, it could affect the dog. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna pass it on. A dog needs to be visually stimulated. So you take a dog and you put a dog in a private fence where it can't see outside and it can't see nothing. you're creating a total different dog than the dog that's going out in public, able to see stuff. You're creating a totally different dog.
That penitentiary center.
And then you want to blame the breeder. See, some of this stuff is on the breeder, but a lot of this stuff is on people that's getting dogs and don't know how to take care of dogs and refuse to do basic research and listen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry, I'm having some camera issues. Okay. All right.
So that's the point I want to make, that everything is not environmental and everything is not genetic. It's a mix in between the both, and we have to be able to know, use the process of elimination, use all the technology in terms of our testing tools, and then we have to be willing to monitor things. I have outside this dog, Antoine DeMello. He is a what is his dad name? His dad is Notorious Big, and his mama is a Von Wilder Weston son. The owner that I got the dog back from when he went to Kansas, as a puppy, the dog fell and hurt his leg. He never took the dog to the vet. He never got steroids or anything. You can tell that back leg, the back hip, he favors it. He did not pass his hips and elbows because he had an injury and it was not attended to. So it's things like that we got to be mindful of as we move forward. And we talk about genetics and environmental things. All of that stuff needs to be taken into consideration.
Yes, it does. It's kind of interesting that you say that, because the more experience you'll get, the more you'll learn. Like you touched on eyes, right? There is a test that is done yearly that the ARC, the American Rottweiler Club, demands that it's done, and it's serious. But during that same test, you can discover that there's been some damage done to the eye, and you still fail. But juvenile cataracts is bad in Rottweilers. A lot of people don't know that. The ARC does, but secret people don't know it. It's a test that's done every year. And with juvenile cataracts done, it is genetic. It starts off as, if you can imagine, you take a piece of paper and you take pinholes, and you put about 5 or 6 pinholes in it, and you put it up to the light. You can see the light coming through there. Mm-hmm. The older you get, the more pinholes occur. Then there are other things that are based on it is environmental, it's breeding. What do I mean? Torn cruciates. Oh, it's genetic and that's hereditary. No, your rear end is built improperly. So the muscles don't develop like they should back there. Over-angulated dogs usually get this. Quick movements, but you're light in the ass, you're light in your thighs.
Pelvic is
narrow. And the dogs, and the mindset of a dog, 115, 117, but the rear is weak. The rear is built incorrectly, right? Makes a swift turn, there go a cruciate. Mm-hmm. That isn't the person who bought the dog's fault. That is the breeder for breeding the incorrect rear.
Right.
In my opinion, because I've seen it, know it, been standing when it happens, the screaming is something dead awful. The sound of it popping is crazy, right? When I look back and I look over the dog, and now I look and I see our breed, we're over-angulated in the rear, and we got hound rear ends. Point blank, these are supposed to be moderately angled. That's what the standard says. Short hocks, meaty thighs, not whippet thighs. You see that. You see them winning with that. You see them winning Seegers with that. And there are so many genetics and environmental things, like Muhammad said, that are gone off just by people not knowing, uneducated, and talking. If you do your research on the Rottweilers, the majority of them that are carrying their cruciate, and then look at their rear ends according to the way they should be built, that's why they're carrying them. So whether you want to look at it as genetic or environmental, because did you have him running around because he's too young? Did you have him doing? No, he's built in it correctly. It's a working dog. He should be able to perform working tasks with power.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Did we touch anything on temperament?
Not yet.
Okay, let's touch on that. But before we touch on it, hey guys, I see a lot of y'all becoming members tonight. I appreciate it. I really do. It helps the channel. But tonight, scrolling right under there, all donations. Don't send me no money tonight. I know a lot of y'all trying to send me super chat. Everything going to Brother Terry Cornish. He's battling an illness. He's not working. I ain't trying to put your business out, Terry, but it's the truth. Give the money to him.
Right.
And show him that we appreciate him. His cash app is right there. Please, y'all, please help Brother Terry out.
Right.
He's not working right now. So, and he's coming and giving information, and I'm kind of forcing. Like, come on, y'all help Terry out. Well, he deserve it, bro. So y'all do that. But anyway, environmental issues on dogs related to temperament. Jihad, you want to start back on that one again? And also, guys, go ahead and get your questions ready. After when we pass it to Terry, go ahead and start dropping questions, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right, brother Jihad, the floor is yours.
One of the things that I just want to say is this: that when we talk about working breeds, we're talking about very powerful dogs, and I don't care what their temperament is. Very powerful dogs, especially when they hit that 11, 12, 13-month period, they're like teenagers. They try to do shit that teenagers try to do. One of the challenges I'm seeing is people not being able to control their dogs. And that's a big issue. Big issue. We're seeing numerous all screen across the board around the country. You turn on social media, you scroll, you're seeing dog bites. Part of it is genetics. People are breeding dogs that they physically look good, but they're not mentally sound. And those dogs are going off to bite people who are not threats, even in some cases, children. The second part of that is our inability to control these dogs. And I'm going to say this, and we should take heed. Under the right circumstances, your dog hurts somebody, you're going to prison.
We know somebody just went through that. Yeah.
You want them dogs that's going to eat everything up no matter what? They don't have no discretion, no discernment, don't care about nothing? You're going to end up in the penitentiary.
He said the penitentiary.
Yeah.
Even the person protection dog is not for everybody.
No.
That's true. True.
It's not. And some of us cannot control a 100-pound dog, and we want the dog that's 200 pounds, and we can't control the one that's 100 pounds. You're gonna go to penitentiary.
Terry's cash app is tcorn02. tcorn02. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we just know somebody who just went through that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, since he said personal protection dog, right?
Mhm.
And he said the dog personal protection dogs aren't for everybody. Um, the Rottweiler is not for everybody. It has, yes, it does have something to do with personal protection and the shits and, um, but it's not for everybody. And the reason I say that it's not for everybody is because of what it was bred for, what the dog was bred for, what the Pressa, the Corsa, what it was bred for. We want these dogs in our homes. Most of us want the dog, big dog. That's why we're having the issues with the monster sized dogs for deterrent. But we don't know what comes with it. We want the name and the look, but we can't handle the guts of the dog.
Right.
When you want what you want to the point to where it changes the true character and temperament of the breed, you should have it. Yes, people should train those dogs, but a lot of the dogs that you're seeing that are doing the bite work don't have the proper training.
Right.
Inexperienced handlers, breeders giving to inexperienced handlers. Um, I know a young man that got him and his uh, girlfriend or fiance, or if it's his wife, I apologize. But they bought one from them high dollar dogs, right? And they didn't understand what they were getting, and he got ate up quite a bit, and he worked through it. I sent him, or they found, and then I went on ahead and stamped Marcus Hampton for them, and it was a chore. In fact, people said, um, "You knew what you were buying." First time Rottweiler people, how you know what you're buying when your mentality is, if I pay this amount of money from this big time breeder who gets from this brand name, they promoting it, right? And I tell you I want to show and I possibly could work, how would he know? So we're not vetting properly our buyers because of whatever reason. You can say money, you can say various things, right? But at the end of the day, if you have to change the character and the temperament and the look you of a working dog that is known to be a protection guard dog, not a Schutzen dog, not a Mondo dog. It is known to be, before the sport was introduced to the breed, as a protection guard dog. If you can't understand what that means and you want it so bad, it's kind of jacked up because you're in harm's way and you're putting other people in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
And don't ever think, I'm going to repeat this, don't ever think because of the so-called working homes, meaning the people that do shits and that do protection help, AKC dogs aren't that way. That's a damn lie.
Right. Right.
Well-known dogs in the AKC have eaten judges up, eaten handlers up, killed people, been put in quarantines for it, the whole nine. Because at the end of the day, genetic makeup eventually hits. You're not prepared because you're prepared for a foo-foo dog, and you start right off at 10 weeks putting them on the little bricks. You're stimulating in a different way, but you ain't changing his character and his temperament. I'm emphasizing this to say, because a lot of times people say, if you get the Rottweiler, if you get this breed from this and you get that from that you're not going to have any problems. AKC Rottweilers, at one time you have to remember, these dogs are coming over here, Schutzen 3, IPO 3, not just doing it once. They were doing it 4 and 5 times, Schutzen 1, 4, 5, 15 times, Schutzen 2. They wasn't trained to be friendly. They wasn't bred to be friendly to everybody. They wasn't bred to be all up in everybody's face. The standards said loyal family member. We must remember there's a difference in being social and sociable. You should be able to walk through the park and he acknowledged the people around him, but he don't have to be so sociable that he's got to lay down on his back and let you rub his tummy and you're a stranger, knowing that's a submissive thing for a dog to do. And you're teaching that dog to do that. I'm very stern about that now because I see the weak temperaments. I see the nervy dogs. I see the skittish dogs getting by because you trained enough for the shows. Put him in the car and he's running in the back of your car. A man comes up to the window and he's just walking by and he shit himself.
Right.
Right.
You understand?
Yes, yeah.
It's still a Rottweiler.
Right.
It's still a Pressa.
Right.
It's still a Corso. Why are we changing it to be a Lassie? In my opinion, and I know to ruffle some feathers, and I really don't care because the standard is telling you. I'm just repeating it. Right. If it don't have the correct character and temperament, it may look like a Rottweiler, smell like a Rottweiler, spots like a Rottweiler, but it's not a Rottweiler.
Right.
If the Pressa, the Corso, all these protection dogs, if they don't have it, you can run around all day long and call it what you want. That's not what the standard says it is. Right. So what is it?
Right. Okay. Hey guys, I'm gonna take some questions. I seen one by Tony. I started, bro. I wrote it down. I say, let me see.
Tony was asking about health guarantees, I think.
Well, I want to hear your thoughts on health guarantees because I've seen some breeders say health guarantee, but they replace a dog from the same parents as a first-time shopper. How should you handle that? First, let me start. I want you to go to a YouTube channel called the Corso Academy. Tony ran down on contracts like you wouldn't believe.
Yes, he did.
And he covered health guarantees and everything. Tony, go look at that. The Corso Academy and his breeders' contracts. Watch that show. He's a real breeder. He one of the breeders we pressured to come out and start doing videos like we did Terry. That's what y'all like me for. Y'all want me to go get them guys in the underground. Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, y'all can start with that if y'all like.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mama.
I would say this. I have a little contract, and certain things that I guarantee, there's certain things that I don't. I'm not gonna guarantee no hips and elbows. Because once you get that dog to your house, I don't know what the hell you're gonna do. I had a man sitting on the floor, and he had a puppy he got from me that was about 3-4 months old. he was sitting on the phone. And he called me, and he got the phone up, and the dog is hopping off the bed, which is taller than his back, onto the floor, back on the bed. He said, "Hey man, so and so and so and so and so and so." If he letting that puppy hop off everything, by the time that puppy turned 15 months, his hips ain't gonna be what it should be. So no, I'm not guaranteeing it. There are certain things like JLPP and stuff like that. I can. Long hair strain, I can. But I'm not guaranteeing everything, because I don't know what you're gonna do when you get that dog. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what some of you all are feeding the dogs Old Roy. I don't like that. The cheapest thing you can find at Walmart. So nah, that's a lot of stuff I'm not offering no guarantee on. Certain things I will. But I'm gonna say this. In my contract, some of you all won't even take the dog to the vet when you get the dog. You wait 3-4 months before you take the dog to the vet. You don't spend $1,000 to $2,500 on a puppy, and you won't spend $60 to $70 to take the puppy to the vet after you get it looked over. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this
Even
about
breeders, that when they come and I say, "Hey man, you got this, you got that," they can't produce it. Because you're trying to make a lot of money without taking care of the dog. So nah, I don't guarantee all this stuff.
Well, let me say this about that, because I've been hearing about this too. And some of us sell supplements and things like that, and you got your guaranteed. Some breeders are making you have to feed these dogs supplements in order for your guarantee to be valid. I'm not gonna ever do that shit. I hear people said you got to feed dogs a certain brand of dog food or raw diet for your health guarantee. Man, fuck that shit.
Right.
Your weak genetic. You just showing me you got excuses for your dog genetics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get out of here with that old bull crap. Don't take no health guarantee on you giving a supplement or feeding him a certain dog food brand or raw diet. That's corny.
Right.
And let's let you know something. He probably got allergy issues running in the lines that they just won't fix.
Right.
Anyway, let me Terry, you got anything to say?
Yeah. What if I told you today you could buy a dog from Germany and you don't get no contract and no health guarantees? What if I told you you could do that with the Schnauzer, the German Shepherd, all of them? The guarantee is also part of genetics when these people put these contracts together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that are genetic that you can't get around, like JLPP,
Right.
Right.
which is a carrier or non-carrier, or you got it, right?
Right.
But before you purchase that dog, everybody needs to know by the time that dog is ready to be bred, if he had it, it's a miracle he living to be bred.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you see that the dog has a carrier, so I will go as far to say that JLPP can't even be guaranteed, because if you went to the breeder, and whether the breeder was a carrier or a non-carrier, now you have the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I've started this time around. Some people said they'd just do it, and they did do it, doing embark before the dogs leave. JLPP. That way, when they leave, they know whether they're a carrier or not. You've given them all the information they need to know. Carriers need to be bred to non-carriers.
Right.
You can breed in non-carrier to non-carrier, right? So if you tell them that, and they go out and don't do their due diligence to make sure that they breed that female, that male, and use that same process, that's not on the breeder.
Right.
That's on. You got your knowledge from that. So why should the breeder guarantee that? He just told you he's not a carrier. He just told you he is a carrier. He told you don't breed that carrier to another carrier.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you need a contract for that?
Right.
SAS shows up late. They do heart echoes. There are many things that cause heat exhaustion can look like SAS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's in the breed. SAS is in our breed. Do you put a contract out that says if the dog winds up with it and only you later find out what? That it was in a crate, he got too hot, heart exploded, the neocopsy reads, and it almost sounds the same as SAS. Heart murmurs before the puppy leaves there, right? Look at this. Before the puppy leaves there, the breeder should have done a checkup and you should be able to hand that to the buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have 48 to 72 hours to take it to your vet.
Right.
You need a contract for that? You know how many dogs I've gotten over the years? No contract? Because certain things are to be expected that you cannot control. The breeder can't control. You know how many deposits I probably have lost? From Eckhart, German breeders, almost probably over $10,000 worth of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you start talking about health guarantee contracts, a lot of that is the buyer to do his due diligence before he buys the puppy, purchase the puppy and take the puppy home. Because on AKC's website, OFA's website, they'll tell you what needs to be checked for each breed. So you should be able to ask them for that before you make your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Show of receipt of payment. Okay, you got that, right? But there's no guarantee, bro. How can you guarantee that that man is going to breed that dog correctly into the right dogs? But he does it. You have a litter of puppies, and they're coming back and they're saying you did it. I got the puppy from you. And a lot of times it get blamed on the stud dog.
And another thing is if you're doing a 24-month, let's say you're doing 24 months to the dog turns 2 years old or whatever the case is, and if you're going through OFA and you got 24 months in there, when you hit that 24-month and one day, that contract is voided anyway.
Yeah.
Think about it. So
Plus,
sometimes people are talking about health guarantee, they saying that stuff to be able to sell the dog.
and you know something else, man? It was kind of crazy how things
They
have
want to make it
changed
look
over
like
the
they
years.
got some hell of a guarantees, and they don't. They just trying to sell a dog. They lying.
Exactly. They're adding on extra warranties that they can't hold up to. And you know what's amazing to me is there are breeders out here that don't have contracts, man. And let me tell you something, because they're of their morals and their ethics. You call them and you say that you had a bad hip. Guess what? I'm sorry, man. I did everything I'm supposed to do. I know you spent this money, whether it was 2,500, whether it was 65. Here, these are the litters I have, and they're coming up. No contractor made him do that. It was the man himself, the breeder himself, the woman himself, knowing that this dog is severely spastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
And then a lot
breeder.
of people now, to be honest with you, a lot of people they're not doing those health checks no way. Just being honest with you, if folks ain't doing no health, they don't want to spend that $300-$400, $600-$700. They just not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's said in the contract, if you're not gonna do the test no way, it don't matter anyway.
How long are you supposed to guarantee health?
That's a good question.
Yeah. 36 months.
That's a good question.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you say guarantee health, are you talking about the things like the JLPP, SAS,
It's
and
gonna
things
be
that?
breed. It's gonna be breed, probably breed specific ailments. Especially with our dogs, it's gonna be similar, except like uh hip dysplasia and things like that. Then, damn, that's a whole nother topic, man. Because like even with hip dysplasia, man, like if it's a pet home that comes back with some mild or fair hips, do you replace the dog in a pet home? Because you got a lot of champion dogs that don't have passing hip scores in sports and in show.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
live
telling the truth.
quality life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
That's
what
the
I'm saying?
truth.
So, and
Well, when you say age limit, why would you cover the breed like he just said? Hips and elbows, 2 years max, right? Why am I covering hips and elbows after 2 years? Why are you putting that in the contract?
Mhm.
At 2 years old, you should be doing your hips and elbows, and now you can do them at 15 months and send them to the ADRK.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you have to guarantee hips any longer than that?
Mhm.
JLPP, even if the breeder didn't do it and you know you're supposed to do it, I think Embark right now has got like an $89, $99 special to do all the stuff. You can look by the time the dog is a year old, right? You could have saved up $10 a month and send that in. Now you got all your health certificates.
And the
Now if it
AKC do it now too, don't you? Right?
yeah,
AKC give you a
Yeah, you
I got
might well go to them now
a,
because they want the DNA now and everything.
yeah, I got a
yeah,
20-page printout
yeah,
on a few of my dogs. That 20-page document they check for a lot of
everything.
breed specific stuff, and you get a printout. It's 100 and you get the profile. So you
Yeah.
get the profile, you get the JLPP, you get a bunch of other stuff. There's a test for the eye. There's a long hair strain test. When you're dealing with the Roddy, and just a whole list of stuff. It's just 135.
And there's stuff on there that I'd never heard of.
Yeah, NAD, what they call NAD, it's on there. All this stuff.
Let me ask a question to the panel and to you guys. What health certification do you need that requires that you have a guarantee for a long period of time?
I mean, you can't guarantee nothing for a long period of time. Not only against the stuff you test for. I mean, you remember back in the early part of the conversation, we was talking about. I gave an example of 3 siblings having the same mom and dad, and something might pop up. And I mean, we not gods.
Mm. So there, as long as the breeder does, let's just say they all did embark before the puppy, and everything come back cool.
Yeah,
Then you went on and you did your hips and your elbows, right? And you
yeah.
cool. And just say you didn't do it at 15 months, you did it at 2 years. What health certificate do you need or guarantee do you need after that? What health issues would come up?
You don't need them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mechanic where they whatever number inspections. I did my job, you
Right.
know.
Right.
I'm just saying, right?
Hey, Doug said he gonna
Mhm.
slap the shit out of somebody. It's 48. It's 48 likes and 65 watching. Can we get the likes up? Unless there's some haters in here. Unless there's some haters here, y'all more than welcome.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Okay. I don't have
Question.
any more. Um, Anybody else got anything y'all want to close out with? I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any questions, but I would say this because of the things that are going on right now. Again,
Mm-hmm.
please, guys, you new buyers, even those on your second time Rottweiler. Just this week, I've heard nothing to do with the other situation, but I've talked to probably 4 or 5 people that have been going to shows and there were just certain things they didn't know. It's a continuous research. I didn't come across these things overnight, and I'm still learning. There are things that are being added, things being taken away. I
Yeah.
come from a time where none of them health certificates even mattered. You just did your hips.
Okay, Terry, I got one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Paige Haas, Rottweiler, what's going on, good brother? So, are you saying that there should not be a health guarantee?
No, I'm not saying there shouldn't be a health guarantee, but what I am saying is that the health guarantees, with the exception of the hips and elbows, all can be done by the breeder long before 2 years of age. Like I just said, you can do the embark. Well, are you going to call the embark a liar and they walk out of there and they passed all those? Nah, it's done. Those are the type of things that I believe that a breeder should be doing anyway. And if they haven't done it, you as a buyer, run. There's no more conversation. Why would you stick around?
Right. John Mims says 2 years. It needs to come up before 2 years works in genetics. After that, they're only on. You right. Top dog K9's in the house, bro. I ain't heard from call me, man. Doug says if I decide to become a breeder, I'm a health testing my dogs, but I'm not doing health guarantees. Buy at your own risk. Who in here is from the Midwest? There's a bunch of people here from the Midwest. Chi-Town is in here heavy. I know. I've seen them. A strong screening process helps with people that will take care of the pups. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, man. I
Let,
think.
let me, if I can, dear brother, let me say this. For me, I'm going to reward people that health test.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Wisconsin.
If you don't do no health testing on your dogs, you're not gonna get my money.
I told you, Chicago in this thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. I think that people who go the extra mile for their dogs and for their clients, those are the people I want to shop with. You know, I'm willing to pay a little extra when I see somebody going a little extra and health testing their dogs. You know, so I think, you know, I appreciate the people that do it, and I try to do it. I don't have all of my dogs and I health tested. We are health testing dogs as we go. But I'm gonna say this: it's important. It's important, and it's on the buyer. The buyer gotta ask. You come and sit down. Hey man, you got this and you got that. I'm asking you for your money for this dog, and you shouldn't be bashful or ashamed or nothing to say, "Hey man, I'm looking for this type of dog to have these type of tests, and I'm ready to buy." And I should say, pull out my book and say, "Well, okay, man, I'm gonna give you my health test. I'm gonna give you my critiques. I'm gonna open my books up to you. Here go this dog file. Here go the female file.
I told y'all Chicago was in here.
Right there. You can go through that. Look, got your pencil and paper. You can take your notes. That's what I got on these dogs."
Yep. Let me say something. See, I told y'all, I knew Chicago was in here. They deep in here.
K-Town, I see you.
Yeah, PRK.
K-Town.
It's some real dog men in the chat. Let me pull one up. This brother right here, man, get you around some real dog men, man. I'm fortunate enough to have some people like that. My cousin Lamont or La Potenza. I'm talking a real dog dude. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hunt hogs, and then he'll bring the dogs into a nursing home and let them pet on the people.
Mm-hmm.
The mind of the dog is important to him. That brother right there named Colossal Mastiff has created his own breed, and he in the same city as you. There's some hell of a trainers in there. McDuffie, Mel McDuffie's in Chicago. Hecker's in Chicago. Brandon Edmonds. Man, you got a lot where that location you at. It's some dogs in that area, boy. But get with that brother. His name is Lamone Coleon, and Just Talk Dogs. He has created his own breed, and he got some really good dogs. You never hear anybody complaining about his dogs. Get with him. Yep, he's in Chicago. Help him, Lamone. Help him. But anyway, I think that's it, y'all. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I started the show, guys, we got any situations going on in between us, it's time to fix it. I'm not getting in nobody's business, but it's time to fix it. You know what I mean? Don't egg no bullshit on. Let them fix it. We men. All right. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, brother Jihad.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm out.